So you're wondering whether or not you need to add a mineral site or mineral sites to your property. Let's talk about what that looks like. So a mineral site, if you were to think of it as a whitetail buffet, right? For your property, you've got A, B, C, D, and so on of different things that you want to have on your property in order for whitetails to be healthy, to stay on your property. Whatever that is, you're creating a perfect safe haven, a perfect area for them to come in and stay on your property. Mineral sites is just an add to that buffet if you're not already doing so, because like us, we need minerals to survive. We need potassium, calcium, iron. Deer the same way. Deer have to have minerals in order to be healthy, and they have to have a healthy diet with minerals. So a mineral site, if you were to go out and get minerals, there's a ton of different ones that you can get. There are the blocks that you'll see that look like the square blocks. I've seen people use just like a regular salt block or a salt lick, which I'm not really a fan of because it doesn't have a ton of different things in there. You can get a powder, you can get a liquid, whatever works for you, whatever works for your property, and most importantly, whatever the deer like is what you should be using. Now, I use a powder. I've tried a ton of different minerals, and that's what's worked for me, is a powder. And you can get this at Walmart. This is like my secret little dessert for the deer, seems like, and that's the black magic that you can get at Walmart. They have the white bag, and then they have like the dark bag that's like a blueberry flavor, and I always hands down get the blueberry flavor. It's because it's what works for me. This is year 4 of me using that specific mineral, and as you can tell, I'm standing in one of the sites. This is now year 2 for this site, and they have already made this gigantic. It's absolutely phenomenal. If you notice, it's down to the dirt. It used to look like what's here beside me, and they have just dug and dug and dug to keep at these minerals. So how do you use the minerals? Like, what's the setup of the minerals when you buy them? I've seen people put them on stumps, and it depends on what you buy. I've seen people put liquid and powder on stumps. I've seen people put them on rocks. I've seen people just set the block out on the ground or on dirt. And again, it depends on what you buy. What works for me is the powder, the Black Magic powder, just straight on the dirt. So what I'll do is, and what I did here, is I raked about a 4-foot diameter, just bare dirt spot, and just with my boot. I didn't shovel anything, and I just sprinkled the powder over that specific area. And that's what that specific bag says to do. I'll also encourage you to be sure, like whatever mineral you buy, pay attention to how often it says to freshen up the spot. So mine says, and that specific mineral says freshen up every 60 days. And so what I'll do is after about 60 days, give or take, I'll go get another bag. I'll come to the same spot and I'll just sprinkle the bag over this spot or over my sites. I prefer to sprinkle it over when I know there's going to be a rain, simply because it helps it to seep into the ground, and it helps it to, not just be up and stay dry, because the deer, from what I found in my trail cam pics, they really start to hit it and enjoy it when it's kind of already seeped into the ground a bit. It's almost like it's a little too bitter when it's like chunked up or not spread out into the dirt. I will say be mindful of where you're putting your sites, because if you're gonna hunt over it, like right now I've got this specific site at the edge of one of my green fields that I'm planting in the fall. I'm gonna hunt over this. I have thought about access and thought about how I'm gonna leave. So if you're hunting over a site, be sure to remember, hey, this is where I need to come in, this is where I need to come out, because if you put it somewhere, there's really no takebacks unless you were just to get a shovel and take out as much dirt as possible. So once it's here, and the deer are gonna be coming in. Obviously you don't wanna put it in no man's land where there aren't any deer movement, and if you wanna just do it where you're getting some info on trail cams, you can put that just in an area where deer are traveling back and forth from bedding, wherever hey, deer are traveling through this area or close to a food source already. that's where I've had success in putting my sites. I've actually got another one that I did last week that is close to where I know deer are bedding. It's a thick area where it's got heavy browse during the summer, and I know that they're browsing through, and it's just going to be a site that they can hit all year. And this is something that I keep out all year, and they hit on it year round. And the antler growth for the deer typically here in Alabama is going to be from March-ish to about the beginning of October. That's when the antlers are growing here in Alabama. And so I keep this out year round because the antler growth from then to September it's great. I haven't seen a huge difference in antler growth, but I will say I've seen a difference in antler growth. It like the first few years, I really say the first 1 or 2 years that I was doing this, my deer in this area, they were kind of pencil horned because they may not be getting the minerals that they need in the dirt, in the soil. If you're not running soil tests and stuff, it's really hard to tell whether or not the deer are getting the minerals that they need in your area or at your property. And so I started doing minerals, and I noticed a difference in the antlers kind of thickening up just a bit, where the bodies looked a bit healthier. And I believe, again, this is just one of the puzzle pieces from what I've done. This is, again, just an add-on to the buffet that you want to create on your property. This isn't solely what I'm doing on my property to create the perfect whitetail habitat. This is one of the important things that I like to do, though. So if you've not done minerals before, or you have done them, I hope this was encouraging to you guys. If you're thinking about scouting tactics during the off season, I encourage you to go ahead and check out where we did a 3-part series where we were shed hunting, where we talked about how to hunt bluff gaps and creek crossings. And if you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and share it with one of your friends. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel to keep up with what's going on with That's Wild. We'll see you on the next one.